let's have that go in the corner. And we will merge to a desktop share. And we'll present this. Okay, Zoomers, are you seeing? Oop, yeah. You definitely have to turn off the volume, whoever's that's coming out of. Are we off? Nope. Zoomers, I can't see you while I'm looking at this while I'm... Maybe just leave the Zoom is the easiest. Or turn off the volume on your device. Yep. And definitely mute it. Or I... Yep.
I'm muted.
There we go. Okay. Amy or someone else, Zoomers, if you can't see me or hear me, if there's something else wrong, make sure you say something, unmute yourself so we can hear you. Okay, here we go. We're going to start with our regular setup where we go through 4 sets of each with the chords. So let's start just with the C chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. 3, 4. Here we go to G, G, up, down, up, G, up, down, up, G, G. Here we go, A minor now, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Goes to F, 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 back to C for 2 sets. C, C, G, G, A minor, now F, back to C for 1 set. C, G, A minor, and F, C, G, A minor, and F. One more time. C, G, A minor, and F. One more time. Okay, good. So I want to work a lot on strumming today. Zoomers, any thoughts, comments, anything? How did that feel? Okay. Wow, I can see some of you in person and in Zoom, and it's very, yeah.
Psychedelic.
Yeah, very psychedelic. Okay, so I really want to spend some time working on strumming today. So part of strumming, I don't know if all of us are doing this or some of us are doing this, but Leslie made a joke at something I was at this week that musicians can only count to 4, and it reminded me that we need to make sure that we are always counting to 4. In our heads, we always want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So actually go ahead and say it with me, whether you're at home or Zoom or here. Here you actually have to do it because I can hear you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Try saying it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. We're going to add 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, now here's what we're going to do a little different. You should still hear it in your head. It should just always be there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, now I want us to do a strum of down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Hit the strings on each time. I'm muting it with my left hand, but if you want to play a chord, you can play a C, you can play a G, you can play whatever you want. I think it's easier just to mute. But when you're doing this, Now 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and every time you say a number you are going down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Every time you say a number you are going down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Every time you say a number you are going down. Now hear this one. Down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. Now what I'm hoping we're getting from this, Judy's giving me a look here. Everyone else can. Oh no, I don't have you on a button. I can't have everyone else see you giving me the look. What we're really trying to develop is that sense that every down is a number. You want to just feel that every down is always a number. And this is how we start getting more sophisticated in our strumming, is our right hand is always doing that. Our right hand is always going down on the numbers and always coming up on the ands, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So what that means is every strum we ever play is going to fit into this pattern, right? Our right hand is going up and down at eighth notes. That's what the ands are. The quarter notes are the numbers themselves. So, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting every down. And, right? Every and is up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? One good exercise to do is to play with just the ups sometimes on the ands. And it gets a kind of reggae sound, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Right now we're doing Hashki Venu with a reggae beat, which actually kind of works because Randy does Bob Marley with it, right? So keep doing that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and numbers going down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and every number's going down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down. Now what I want us to do is do that down, down, up, down, up, but actually play the full down, up, 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 down. So we're gonna play that, and except while we're playing that, we're gonna say down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Now go to the G. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Now A minor. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Now we're gonna go to F. Here we go. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Now we're gonna actually do the strum. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Let's just stay on the C though there. Let's do 4 sets. Down, down, up, down, up, 2, down, up, 3, down, up, 4. Now G, G, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Good. Now A minor, A minor. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Now F. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Okay, stop for a second. Okay. First of all, we got to give probably our right arms a rest there, right? So how did that feel for everybody? Right in the middle, I'm getting from Barb. I'm getting some thumbs up. Oh, that was so weird, Alyssa. I saw you on here, and it's very confusing. Patty's like veering wildly from downs and ups. It's good. I like that as an answer. Good from Amy and Sean. Okay, great. Okay, so we have a third Amy gauge here now. I know everyone says Amy on it. Yep, exactly. Okay, so what we're going to do now, well, first let me check in about that. The goal of doing this and of doing it that way is that I want us to begin to feel that every time we play any strum, almost any strum, at least for a while in our ukulele playing, it's going to be simply a question of when we touch the strings and when we don't. Right? And I know I've said this in a few different ways, but this was a different way of doing that. So we're always doing that down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. The only question is when we are actually playing, when we're actually touching those strings or not. Does that make sense? Yeah. So every strum that we want to do as we want to start getting creative with our strums comes from that. It's always going to be, so whatever strum we do, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom. Right, here's just the ups. It's a syncopated rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and try it. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1. It's probably too much to do all the chords and this, so let's just try it on C for now. C and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right, we're just going up on the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And now we're going to reverse it and go down on the numbers. 3 and 4, 1. Well, it's hard to switch, isn't it? 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down 2, 3, 4, down 2, 3, 4, 1 and up, 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 and up, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, down, 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 up, 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 down 2, 3, 4, down 2, 3, 4. Down, up, 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 down, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4, down, up, 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 down, 2, 3, 4, down, 2, 3, 4. Okay, how did that feel? I'm getting thumbs up here. Zoomers, how did that feel? So, this is a surprisingly good exercise to work on to get your strumming really on point. Again, the key is what we're really trying to develop. The main goal here is for our hand always to be going down on the numbers, on the 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, and always to be coming up on the syncopated and, which is to say that we want our wrist in a 4/4 time to be going at eighth notes, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so our wrist is always going in that speed, and what that means is we can begin to play around with different rhythms that we want to play, different strum patterns that we want to play, and it doesn't become an issue because anytime you hit, it will be in beat. Definitionally, as long as your wrist is doing that eighth note strum for us, anytime we play the strings, it will be on the beat. Does that make sense? Thoughts, questions? Where's the difficulty level at on this for us? Let's see, 1 through 5. 5 being the hardest, 1 being the easiest. Let's see fingers. I'm seeing some 3s, some 2s, some 2s. The switch between them can be a little tough, yeah. So in particular, the thing to practice when you're practicing is to try playing those strums where you're just doing the down and the up on the actual strum, but then you say down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, and then you can switch jobs, down, down, up, right switch. So now your finger's doing the correct strum, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Did that make sense what I was doing? Where I'm either, when I'm saying the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s, I'm doing the down, down, up, down, and when I'm saying down, down, up, I'm strumming 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 in. Did that make sense, or was that totally confusing? Made sense? Okay. So,
Good question.
yeah, Autumn.
So why do you need to learn to do that though? So like you're strumming one thing but you're saying another, like what's the value in learning to do that?
So what we're trying to do writ large, well, first of all, we're generating, I want to make sure everyone's wrists are in that rhythm and get into that pattern of the downs and the ups, because it'll give us a lot more creativity, and just it's another one of these sort of basic tools. But the other is we're trying to transfer over the work of the strum to the brain that's in your hand instead of, I mean, I know that's not literally right, like, but we're trying to move it into muscle memory. And so once we can switch these things, it's like, at some level, it's, you know, the patting and the rubbing, which is really easy once you can do it, and really hard until you can learn to operate those things separately. So we're really doing that between our heads, which should always have that count. We always want to have that count. And eventually, actually, you can sort of move that count to your foot. That's where the count lives for me. But it's always there, right? I'm always sort of tapping with my left foot, or you'll notice while I'm playing, and part of that is just so everyone sees a little better, but you'll notice that I kind of bounce along to it too, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, right? You want to have that be somewhere else in you as you can. Yeah, Barb.
Yeah, I'm confused as to which finger. So I've been doing it a lot with my thumb. So now you're doing, tell me about how many fingers are.
I strum with my index finger.
Okay.
And my index finger gets pointed at an angle down like that and comes up with the fleshy part. But I try to keep my index finger really pointed as much as I can, sort of out and down, so that it becomes, and when I'm going down, I am hitting with my nail, and when I'm up, I'm coming with the fleshy. The only time when I add in my other fingers are for something like this. But other than that, I'm always using my first finger. Some people, if you want to have more of that nail sound, you can go down with your index finger with the nail and up with your thumb with the nail. I use just my index finger. Other questions? Okay. Yeah, yeah. Oh, the end. Linda's asking how I go fast at the endings. I don't have an answer other than it just comes. Yeah, it's well, first of all, it's keeping it in rhythm. You're still doing an up and a down. It's a very loose wrist that you have, and the wrist is loose. None of it is happening at my elbow on this, or almost none of it. And it's my thumb and my fingers sort of operating together. When I'm going fast, I'm doing it with that, but you can do it with your finger too. But it's just practice. Truthfully, for me, it's like a mandolin skill that I picked up from having to go like this really fast, which is really much more high pressure. This is a low wrist pressure. Other questions before we play some blues? Okay, let's play some blues. Let me find the chords. There we go. And hold on, Zoomers. Let me get this set for you. Okay, can everyone see? Is that coming through okay, Zoomers? I'm not hiding anything? Okay, so we are going to work on our 12 bar blues again, and we are going to add in the strumming work that we just did a moment ago. Really, the theme of today is to get our strumming leveled up. So, just as a reminder, our 12 bar blues are our 1 chord, our 4 chord, and our 5 chord. So we have this chart over here on the upper left-hand corner. We are going to start in the key of C, which is our most comfortable C, most comfortable chord, most comfortable key. Eventually the words will come. So a reminder, in the key of C, C is always going to be our 1 chord. Our 4 chord, C, D, E, is going to be an F chord. And our 5 chord is going to be our G chord. Okay, we're going to start there, then we'll add the 7s back in. So, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Let's get into this. Okay, here we go. So we start with the 1, which is our C. Here we go. C. Now go to the 4, the F. Back to the C. We stay on the C a second time. We go to the F. Our 4 chord, we stay on the F. We go back to the C. A second C. Now we go to the G. The 5 chord goes to the F4 chord. Back to the 1. We turn around at the 5, which is the G. Again, C. To F, back to C. Good, now we go to F. Stay on F and go back to C. C. Now we go to G. To the F, the 4 chord. Back home to 1. And we go to the 5 to turn it around. Okay, stay on the C for a second. Okay, so now we are going to add in our 7th chords. Just as a reminder, our 7th chords add a 4th note to our chord. Most of our chords are just made up of the 1, the 3, the 5. So in a C chord, that's going to be a C, an E, and a G. But we are going to add in the...
C and F and a G.
No, in a C... different. Okay. Folks said a C and an F and a G. So hold on, let me go back and let's make sure we clarify as we do some music theory.
Maybe I missed what you said. The F is the 4.
So,
4, 5.
so we're talking, there are chords and then there are the key that we're in. So within a key, we are working on the 12 bar blues, which is made up of the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. But each chord is made up of 3 or more notes. And a typical chord, a major chord, is made up of the 1, the 3, and the 5. So a C chord includes 3 different notes: a C, an E, and a G. Those are the 3 chords that exist within a C chord. And I can't help but like put my fingers like this, like I'm playing it on a piano, right? The white keys on the piano. So what we do though is we add in A sharp. We add in the 7th here. It's actually a flatted 7th is what we're doing in order to make it a 7th chord. So we actually are going to have the C, the E, the G, and a B flat. All of those go together, or the A sharp, whatever you want to call it. Those 4 make a 7th chord. And whereas a major chord sounds happy and a minor chord sounds sad, a 7th chord always sounds bluesy. So, for our 12 bar blues, we are going to try playing the exact same thing, except instead of our regular chords, we are going to replace them with 7th chords. Does that make sense? Any questions from Zoomers or local people?
When you say you're going to replace the regular chords with the 7th,
So,
which chords are you replacing?
so instead of playing a C, we're going to play a C7. Instead of playing an F, we're going to play an F7. And instead of playing a G, we're going to play a G7. We're going to play the
And
seventh.
that is so that it sounds bluesy.
It adds in a bluesy flavor. And we're doing that again just so that we are adding these, they're chords, but really these emotions to our vocabulary, right? These musical emotions that we have so that we can begin, does this minor seventh make it jazz?
I don't know what F7 is.
We'll do all of them. We'll go over all of them right now. Okay, any questions from Zoomers?
Aren't they new chords, all of them?
We went over them last week, the week before, 3 weeks ago, whenever it was. Yep. Yep, exactly. They're going to be new chord shapes for us, though. Okay, here we go. Ready? Let me...
So you're going to play.
We're going to play the exact same thing we just played. Except we're going to play, instead of the C chord, we're going to play a C7 chord. Those of you who are on Zoom, you've got the chord shapes right above, right over there. You should see them, the C7, the F7, and the G7. So here's our C7. Let's go over it. Get it ready. Your C7.
Daniel, quick thing, can you, is there any way we can see the bottom, final, maybe I'm the only one that can't, I don't know. I can see 8 bars, but I can't see 12 in the bottom of the screen. Can other people see all 12? Maybe I need to figure out how to full screen this or something.
I can
Yeah.
move it.
That's it.
Better, Amy?
Yeah, that's better. Thank
Great.
you.
Oh, you know what I didn't do is I usually spotlight myself, which helps.
Cool.
Okay, so let's go over our chord shapes. We have our C7. We have our F7. So the F7 is the exact same shape as our, we've got our G minor chord, right? This is our G minor chord right here. The F7 is the same shape, just moved up one string. And then our G7 chord. So we've got C7. We've got F7.
Are you putting them up?
Yep, they're right here. Local people, you can see there are the 3 chords right there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, so we got our C7, we've got our F7, we've got our G7, and back to our C7. Good. Let me give you a zoomer. Sorry, I know that looks terrible.
Easy to go from
There you go.
F7 to G7.
Yeah, it's F7 to G7 is a nice move because that index finger is going to stay still. So let's try this. Just down strums for now. Here we go as we get used to these chords. 2, 3. Here we go. And C, 2, 3, 4. Here comes F7. F7, 2, 3, 4. Back to the C. 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3. Here comes F7. F7, 2, 3, 4. A second. And now back to the C7. Here we go. C7. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now to the G7. G7. 2, 3, 4. F7. 2, 3, 4. Back to the C7. 2, 3. Turn it around to G7. Okay, how did that feel?
Hey.
Zoomers? Okay, let's add in our strums then. So, let's do it with the down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Here we go. C7. Now F7. down, up, C7, G7 to turn it around. How'd that feel?
Okay, good, better.
Let me check in with our Zoomers.
Keep on practicing.
Zoomers, how did that feel?
Yeah,
Middles, highs, somewhere, all of those things?
Danny, the first time you taught us the crowbar blues, you had a different configuration, which I learned, and now you've got three. You had a
Yeah, the different chart. Yeah, sorry.
learned it that.
Sorry. I don't know where the other chart is. Okay. Local people or Zoomer verse? Any questions? Anything? Did we move? Okay. So, now let's do it again, except we're going to add in our real strum. Here we go. Starting on our C7. Down, down, up, down, up. Here we go. From the top. C7, down, up, F7, down, up, back to C7, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Here comes F7, F7, down, up, down, up, F7, down, down, up, down, C7, down, up, down, down, up, G7 to F7, back to C7. G7 to turn it around again, C7, down, up to F7, back to C7, down, 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 up, now to F7, stay on F7, go to C7, down, 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 up, now go to G7, and to F7, to C7, turn it around. Okay, stay there. Okay, we're gonna make it even harder. Ready? We're just gonna do the ups. We're gonna do that kind of syncopated reggae beat, right? Make sure the up is the and in your head. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Here we go. And 4 and 1. C, 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 F, 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 C, 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 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, G7, 3, 4, F7, C7, turn it around to G7 and again C and F7, C7, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, F7, 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4, C7, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, G7 and 3, 4, F7, 3, 4, C7, 2, 3, 4, F, G7, now back to down, down, up, down, up, F7, down, up, down, up, C7, down, 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 up, F7, down, up, down, 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 up, down, C7, down, 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 up, now G7, down, down, F7, down, up, to C7, turn it around, G, now we're gonna syncopate it again, and 2, and 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, F7, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, G7, 2, 3, 4, F7, back to C7. Okay, pause.
It's hard to stay absolutely still.
Daniel,
Yes.
I got a comment.
Yeah.
Okay, too many different strums, too quick.
Too much. Yeah. Okay.
Too much, too soon. So what I'm doing is I'm just strumming the regular, whatever, but then every once in a while, you know what I mean? It just naturally gets a harder strum or more emphasis, but to focus on switching a strum and then trying to do the chords, it's way more.
So
So,
Sean says that they take psychic damage from strumming only on the and. Yeah. So wherever you are at on this, do that. So Rennie, I think that's a great solution actually, is to hear it and do that. Because if the only thing you take away from today is to always have that 1 and 2 and 3, if we can sort of drive that into your brain so you can never not hear it, so you are always aware of it, so at any point you can figure out where you are in that count, it's always going, that's a great takeaway. And
okay, perfect. Thanks.
okay, other comments, other thoughts, other anythings?
Awesome.
It's hard to stay still.
It is hard to stay still. Yeah. I recommend putting it into your body. It helps, right? Like I meant it before when I said let the beat, let become your own metronome with your body. Whether it's on your foot. I find actually, I don't know about anyone else, if you are a foot tapper to keep the beat, if you tap with your heel rather than your toes, it moves it into your body a little more. And I find that helpful. Or with your shoulder, right? Like you do a little sort of, I can't dance, and I think it's because I only learned to dance like this. Like I'm always counting the beat when I dance, and it doesn't really work. Patty had to mute herself. She was laughing so hard. Okay. Other questions about this and all of the strumming? Autumn.
Syncope mean?
What?
When you say syncope, what does that mean?
Focus on the ands rather than the numbers. Autumn.
I have a question. Is this a song that we just learned, or is that an exercise?
Yes is the answer to both of those. So for those who haven't been here or don't remember, that's the 12-bar blues. The 12-bar blues are a core part of the American musical sound. And at this point are a core part of worldwide pop music. So many songs that we know are variations on the 12-bar blues. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, it sounded very familiar.
Yeah, and that's the goal, is for this, right, to again be a tool. So just reminding us of some of the tools we worked on. Eighth notes with our wrist. Always keeping the beat with our wrist. Our right hand should always be doing that. So you should not be going down, down, up, down, right? You're not sending the commands of down and up to your wrist to go down and up for the strum. Your wrist is already moving at the speed so that when you say down, down, up, down, it's already doing what you want it to do. It's already in that location. And so that only happens when we can turn that over, where our wrist just gets to the point where automatically when we are playing, it is going with the eighth notes of the beat, downs and ups with the beat, so that the down is always the number and the and is always the up. Again, as we get, a year from now, we may then totally change that up. But that's definitely the stage we're at right now. Other questions, other thoughts? Patty.
I'm having a hard time, like with the C or any chord, I can do it with the 8, with the down, down, up, down, but I can't do the 4. And is that because I'm not doing up and the and part? I must be pausing or something. Because like if I do all 4 of the down, down, up, down, up, then I'm fine if I stay. But if I have to switch in the middle, like from a C to a G, I can't do it.
Yeah, okay, so great, Patty. Because that's really the core of what we're trying to do today, is we are trying to separate it out so that your right hand is taking care of that rhythm regardless of any confusion that you have going on your left hand with chords. We want to separate those two things as much as we can with this. And that only happens when we sit and we practice and we practice and we practice with that right hand always going down and up with the beat. If it's always doing that, then you can do whatever you want on your left hand and at least it'll be in beat. Right? As I sit here and try to figure out the chord. Do you get what I'm saying there? Right? Like, it actually didn't sound terrible there, right? Because I'm keeping the beat with my hand, with my right hand, even as I am floundering on the left hand, which is totally fine.
I think I'm stopping though. Do people just stop? Like when they're doing the down, down, up?
You stop with your right hand.
Stopping without noticing it?
Yes.
I don't even notice that I'm stopping.
Yes, yeah. People do that. That was the inspiration for this week, actually, as I was looking at last week and noticed that people were doing that. And we want to get away from that. When we say it, down, down, up, down, the only difference should be when we are putting our finger against the strings or not. That's the only change there. Yeah, Judy.
So if you go to a band session or a jazz session and they say, well, we're gonna play, You Are My Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, that's not blues. Okay, give me a blues song.
I think You Are My Sunshine could be blues, yeah.
Okay. In C.
Yep.
So would we play those four notes? Those C, F, G, and A, right?
It would be C's, F's, and G's would be.
C, F's, and G's. Would it always be in this 12-bar blues sequence?
It's not always going to be in the sequence, but I actually think You Are My Sunshine is going to be pretty close to it. Let's try that. C, C. Did everyone hear what Judy said? She was asking if you go, oh good, I guess that's a good sign that the microphone is doing a good job of only picking me up. I tried to make sure that would happen so you weren't hearing a whole mess. Judy said, so, if you were playing some other song, if you were at a jam session with people and they said, okay, we're going to play You Are My Sunshine in the key of C, and that's all you know. We actually know enough now that if we put some things together, we should be able to do that even without knowing anything else. So let's go ahead and try that. We're going to try in the key of C. So first let's go over our chords, okay? For a new song that we know the song up here, even if we've never played it, C is a great key to try this in. So our most likely chords are going to be our 1, the C, the 4, the F, and the 5, the G. Those are going to be our most likely chords. And if we're going to get a sad point, it's probably going to be the 6 minor, which is going to be, in this case, an A minor, right? So those are our likely chords. So we want to go over those and have them in our heads. C is going to be our home, and then we're going to feel it. So
That wasn't in the 12-bar blues.
no, but it may not be. I don't know if it's pure 12-bar blues. I haven't played it before. We're going to play this. This is the first time I've played this. Here we go. Ready? So we're going to... A minor is just the finger up there. But I don't think we've got one. I think this is just going to be 1, 4, 5, actually. So, C. We're just going to get into it and feel. Now, you can hear... You are my F, shine. You are my C, shine. You are my G, shine. And back to C, shine. You go to F, shine. And back to C, shine. Now it's G, shine. Stay here, back to C. Right? You can just kind of play. Right? You can kind of feel it because it's either going to be your home spot. Feel that home. Feel the home of C. And then feel when it wants to go away from home. And when it wants to go away from home, it's either going to be the 4 or the 5. Let's try again. You are my F, shine. You are my C, shine. When I am G, shine. Shine, we go to F, shine, we go to C. Now you can go to A minor if you want. F, shine to G, back to C. Now let's try with some 7th chords. Let's blues it up. Here we go. You are my F7, shine. You are my C, shine. You are my G, my C shine. You are my F7 shine. You are my C shine. You're my G shine, my F shine, back to C. Right, it's a different song when you blues it up, but it works. Okay, how did that feel to everyone?
Then how
That
about
was
you go
the
to
same
the
as your land also.
You're right, it's the same song, isn't it? This land is, yeah.
And
It's the same song, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You are my sunshine, my only sun-
Song?
It is, yeah. I guess it is. People know, there's all sorts of ones like this. Like, do you all know that the ABC song is the same as Twinkle Twinkle? And there's a third one that's the same song too, yeah.
Can we do This Land Is Your Land and do it again?
And do what?
Do the same thing in new words.
Can we just do it with This Land Is Your Land and do it with you? Again?
Sure.
Have it call it out.
Here we go.
C or in C?
We're good. So, I'm just going down. I don't know what I'm strumming. So, the important thing about the strum, actually, this is a great question. We just got a question from Judy about the strum. If your wrist is doing the eighth notes, you can strum however you want. It'll sound fine. You can do every one, or you can skip. I'm doing kind of a swung, down, down, up, down, with just a little swing to it. By the way, swing just means you're not keeping the beat very well. I've got a drum machine that for the swing knob, it calls it the drunk knob. Right? Because the whole idea is just you're losing the beat a little bit. This land is F land. This land is C land. This land G land. And I played a G7 land is C land. This land is F land. This land is C to A minor. F land to G, back to C. From Cala F, and maybe a 7 at the end to C. And a 7 at the end to G. And switch to 7 at the end and C. And go 7, this land is F. Add in the 7, this land is C. 7, F, G, 7, C. Okay, so we're getting there, y'all.
What do you mean by at the end? In other words, do
So fun.
a couple of Fs?
Oh yeah. Judy's asking what did I mean when I said the 7s at the end. So if you couldn't tell, what I was doing is like for the time that I was playing a C, I would switch to the 7 at the end of the time, right? I'm on C, now I'm on C7. I'm on F, now I'm on F7. I'm going to C. I'm going to C7. Now I'm going to go to G, G7, back to C, C7. And that's a way to make the 7th chords flare rather than the focus.
Just add them in.
Yeah, add them in, and that's what I'm really hoping everyone's going to start doing with these 7th chords is just playing with them. That they're another tool that you have whenever you're playing. Right? To say it differently, what we've really focused on for the last month is to move us away from playing a song as written in front of us and moving towards a place where we have the skills needed to play along, right? To join a jam and play along. And the beauty of a jam is that it works exactly how we're working, which is to say that whatever level you can add in, you add in. If you're focusing on only hitting, right, like Hashkivenu Adonai, where you're just playing on the first note of each, and that's where you're at, and you're really focused on the chord changes, great. And if you're at a place where you can do this down, down, up, down, right? And if you're at the place some funkier strums, you do that, right? And then you, right? If you're at a place where you start playing around with seventh chords, then you do that. So we're getting there. We're getting there. This was fun. A reminder to anyone who would like, who is on Zoom, that this is going to be simulcast from now on. There's, I think Alana set it all up, but there's a form to fill out, confirming you're feeling well and all those sorts of things. And it is we're asking that anyone who comes in person be vaccinated, already fully vaccinated. And from there, there's all sorts of room to spread out. And you can make your own masking decisions, knowing that everyone is vaccinated.
The in-house.
Do we fill out the form each time?
I think Alana asked that you fill out the form each time. Like, the truth of it is, that's mostly for folks who are not regulars that Alana was concerned about. Like, if you're a regular, if you're feeling fine, you can come, it's fine. As long as you're vaccinated. Yeah, exactly.
Come in person, it's great fun.
Yeah, Patty.
When we're doing the down up, I cannot hear the and. Is that normal? Because I like.
You're not. You mean you're not hearing your ups? Is that what you're saying?
Like I cannot hear when it's supposed to be and when I'm down up. I think I'm just.
The up is the same as the and. That's the key.
Oh, so instead of saying down,
Here.
up, down, can you say and?
So instead of saying, try this. Go down, up, down. I'm gonna mute you so we don't get feedback for other people. But down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Instead of saying downs and ups, say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, down, up. I'm just replacing the word down with the number and up with the word and. It's the exact same pattern, and that's what we're trying to get, is so that your head's doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and your hand here is down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Does that make sense? Sort of, Patty?
Sort of. Sorry, I'll work on it.
Bye, everyone. Have a great week. This was fun.